Hey everybody, welcome to Livestream. Just leave a comment so I know you're here. We do 2 raffles every live stream, so you can win $20 Amazon gift card. We're going to be talking about inventory, how to account for inventory, like LIFO, FIFO, average cost, and how they affect the statements. Ed A to Z. Hope everybody had a good week. I think the market seemed, well, Twitter, that was big news, right? Elon Musk wants to acquire Twitter, which won't happen, but what else happened? I think gas prices are pretty flat, right? From what I can remember. I wonder if oil will get back up to over 120 again. It seemed like it was going to keep rising. People were saying it might hit 200, but I kind of had a feeling it would come down. Like, it just seemed like it just didn't seem likely it would keep rising, because we don't really even need Russia's oil. We have plenty of oil. Leave a comment. I don't see many comments. Just say something so I could put you on the raffle. More earnings this week. Yeah, more earnings. Who's Ben? This was from Friday, so it looks like a lot of oil stocks. Joe Schneider, Robert Montgomery. Happy Passover. MC Doc M. Anybody do well this week? Any big stocks that you hold that warp a lot? I don't really track my stocks day to day. I wouldn't even know how my stocks did the past week or two. I do look to see what the big movers are for the day, like what went up the most and what went down the most. I usually look at that every day. Yeah, Tesla, that's a good you can make a lot of money with Tesla. You can make a lot of money with any stock, but especially a stock like Tesla, so that moves a lot. If you can time it right, you can make a ton of money. Options. So 5 puts, 2 cover calls on GGPI. 2,800 premiums. Wow. Starbulk. It's hard to, I just did Starbulk today. It's hard to Google Starbulk and not get Starbucks. Even if you type in Starbulk, Starbucks comes up. I are bad. Travel and van life. travel and van life. MC. Pre. I'm not really that. I'm not that big of a fan of SoFi. I can't really give a good reason why. I just don't see it being that successful. In time, maybe. But I think these online bank accounts, or online companies that act as banks, it's I don't know. I just banks are huge. They're just such big, like the banks that control the market, like Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citibank. They're just huge, and it's just hard to imagine someone disrupting that. But and SoFi is a SPAC, right? I hate SPACs. Is this SPAC? No, it's not a SPAC. AT&T, yeah, went down like 20% one day, right? It is SPAC. Why is it? It should start at $10. All SPACs start at 10. I wonder why. That's weird. What do you mean it's no longer a SPAC? If I okay. Well, right. It's a company now. It's not. But it started as a SPAC. A SPAC is just a shell. It's nothing. There's no company. And once that shell acquires a company, then it becomes that company. Yeah, all SPACs are pretty much do bad. Very few SPACs, probably like 1 out of 20 SPACs make any money. It's trading at its lowest point pretty much. I guess we could do the raffle. Look at it. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's the next big stock. I mean, the only stock I'm invested in that's kind of that's a small company is Accelera. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. That could be many years before it turns into anything. But I still like Facebook. I think it's really undervalued, Facebook. Amazon, I like Amazon too. I think I've been thinking that for a while. It should be really increasing more, but it hasn't moved too much. Maybe after the split. Eight. Spencer. I only have 14 names here, but there's 21 people in the chat. Seven. Zim. Yeah, Zim's been going down, right? Yeah, shipping stocks may do well this year. There still seems to be a lot of a lot of demand, a lot of bottlenecks in the supply chain. Buster Keaton. Yeah, that's what happens when a company pays a big dividend. The stock goes down. Spencer. So Spencer, email me. You won a $20 raffle. So email me and I'll email you a $20 Amazon gift card. I like Netflix too. That's come down a lot. But you wonder, like, why does it? How do I? You have to get picked twice to win the raffle, and then I email you an Amazon gift card. But you didn't win. You have to get picked twice to win. Last week, the same person won both raffles. That was the first time the same person won. Yeah, Netflix came down. It came down even more since I bought it. So I got it when it around this point, when it dropped 50%, like maybe like 370 or 380, I forget. And then it went up right away. I was up like 20%, and now I'm down like 15%. But who knows when the bottom is, really? I mean, this could have been the bottom, and then it goes back up to 600. But maybe it's gonna just trade sideways for another year. No one knows. It's all a mystery. Maxiano. Financial forecaster. Let's talk semiconductors. Yeah, semiconductors. That's a pretty hot industry. I did a video on Hymax. That looks pretty good. NVIDIA, has that been coming down, NVIDIA? Yeah, that's been coming down, right? NVIDIA was up to 340 at the end in November. So it's down a good 20% from that peak. I mean, but it's up like, what is it up? Like 1,000% in the past couple of years. It just as early as it was in the 30s 2019. Why do they make this so hard to read? I bought Intel, but Intel's not really doing that well. It hasn't been doing well for like 10 years, Intel, maybe 20 years. But who knows? Who knows? You know, Nvidia was the pick. If you picked Nvidia 2-3 years ago, you could have made a ton of money. Who's the next company that's going to 10 or 20x? I don't know. I mean, they came out of nowhere, Nvidia. I didn't see them blown up like this. They really can't. Marvell looks interesting as well. I mean, they're all big companies. That's the thing. You can't be like a small semiconductor company. You have to invest a ton of money to just get started. You can be a small like supermarket or a small like a gym. You can own a gym. You can, but like certain businesses, you just have to be big. You can't be a small aircraft manufacturer. You can't like make a plane a year, or you have to invest so much just to get started. Indie will 10x. It's under radar as of now. Toshiba is coming back. I was going to go through inventory. So the way companies can account for inventory, you can use FIFO, LIFO, or weighted average costs. So first in, first out, last in, first out. LIFO is allowed in the U.S. on the GAAP, but it's not allowed outside the U.S. So if a company is in Canada or any country outside the U.S., they can't use LIFO. So when you look at like a wholesaler like Costco, or if you look at like a retailer, or a lot of businesses just report inventory in one line item on a balance sheet. But if you look at a manufacturing company, maybe like an Nvidia, but they don't manufacture. Maybe like Apple is a good manufacturing company. They report inventory on 3 line items: raw materials, work in process, and finished goods. And depending on what stage of the process the inventory is at. And we'll do examples so it makes sense, but so some expenses Isero. So some expenses related to inventory are capitalized. Like if it costs money to build a product to get it to a current state, that's part of the inventory on the balance sheet. So it's capitalized, and then it's depreciated over a few years. And then some expenses go directly to the income statement. They're expensed, like labor. That would go straight to the income statement. But I think example makes more sense. So if you have, if a company has beginning inventory on January 1st, they just have 2 units and it costs them $2 per unit. They might have, we could just make it simple. They bought 2 products from their supplier and they paid $2 each. So it cost them $4. That's their beginning inventory for the year. So that was left over from last year. And then on January 7th, they bought 3 more products from their supplier. And now it's $3 each. So I'm assuming inflation. I'm assuming prices are going up over time. So they spent $9 for those 3 units. And then they bought 5 more units for $5 each, and they spent $25. So now their total inventory that's sitting on their balance sheet and sitting in their warehouse is 10 units that cost $38. That's how much they spent. And let's say on January 31st, they sold 7 units. So if a company was using FIFO, first in, first out, then they would have to take the first 7 units that came in, since they sold 7. So they take both $2 units, and then all 3 $3 units, and 2 $5 units to make up 7. That's what they sold to their customer. So these 7 units, it cost the company $23. So they put that onto their income statement. That's an expense onto their income statement, $23. And then the ending inventory on the balance sheet is $15, which is just 3 $5 units that are left over. Now, if the same exact company decided to do LIFO instead of FIFO, which is last in, first out, they also sold 7 units. So they would take all 5 $5 units, because it's last in, first out. So all 5 $5 units, and then 2 $3 units. So their cost of goods sold is $31. That's what they put onto the income statement. And the ending inventory on the balance sheet is $7. So LIFO has a lower balance sheet. And FIFO reports a higher balance sheet. So your assets look higher on your balance sheet if you report under FIFO. Now, if this company did weighted average, that means the 10 units they bought cost $38, which is $3.80 per unit. So they sold 7 units. So their cost of goods sold is $26.60, and the inventory is $11.40. It's pretty straightforward, I think, right? I think this makes sense. But it can make a drastic difference on their financials. So now let's look at the change on the financials. I'm just doing an income statement. Now, if this company chose FIFO inventory accounting, I'm just assuming they have $100 in sales. You could pretend these numbers are in millions if you want. $100 in sales. Their cost of goods sold was $23. Remember, it's $23 cost of goods sold. So their pre-tax income is $77. Okay, that's good. And I'm just going to assume they pay 25% taxes on their pre-tax income. So their taxes under FIFO is $19.25. So they're reporting net income of $57.75. If this company instead chose LIFO, it's selling the same exact products and has the same exact revenue. The only difference is it's the way it's reporting its inventory. So it does, with LIFO, they report higher cost of goods sold of $31. When you report a higher expense, it lowers your income, right? The more your expenses, the lower your income. So they pay less in taxes. So companies like to use LIFO because it saves them money. The same exact company, pretty easy math, $2, but this company saved $2 in cash by using LIFO instead of FIFO. So it does save money by using, depending on the inventory type. And then if the weighted average option, it always falls in the middle. So they ended up paying, like their cost of goods sold was between these two numbers, $26.60. So they paid $18.35 in taxes. So their net income was between FIFO and LIFO. So we already saw a cash benefit. The company saved $2 because they paid $2 less in taxes, but they're reporting less profit. So if the company really needed to inflate their profits, if they have to hit a target, like if they said to their investors, we're going to hit 58 million of net income for the quarter, they would be better off using FIFO instead of LIFO. Because, hey, JB, thank you. Blue Knight, is that Blue Knight? Yeah, let's look at that in a minute. I hope people are listening. I think people are listening. But anyways, so you can see how, and I did a video on depreciation, how you can cook your books with depreciation. So I did something similar, but so you can see how you can manipulate your numbers, right? You can report Ashley. Now, if we look at, I got to remember to do BKEP. I'll try to do another video on BKEP. Let me write it here so I don't forget. So pretty much the result is, the way I think about it, the way I remember it is, when you use LIFO, a lot of things are lower, except cost of goods sold, that's higher. But a lot of things are lower. When you use LIFO, you have a lower balance sheet, lower assets, I should say. and you also have a lower net income. And when you have a lower net income, you have a lower profit margin, gross and net profit margin. And you have a lower current ratio because current assets over current liabilities. Your current assets include inventory, right? So if you artificially lower your inventory number, you're going to have a lower current ratio. But okay, if you're listening, what happens to the quick ratio? Quick ratio for a firm that uses LIFO instead of FIFO. Can anybody tell me what happens? What happened to the quick ratio? Is it get better or worse, higher or lower, of using FIFO as opposed to using LIFO? Quick ratio. Some people may call it the acid test ratio, but does anybody know? Okay, I can get back to that, but let me know in the comments what's better for the quick rate. If you want a really high quick ratio, you want to NLP, not NLP. If you want a high quick ratio, should you use LIFO or FIFO? I mean, it's not really cooking the books. They're both they're both. You can use either one you want, I believe. But I'm just saying, if you needed to inflate your net income, then you probably should be using FIFO if you need to raise your net income up. But if you need to save money, because if you just want to lower your cash spend, then you should use LIFO because you spend less in taxes. Yes, exactly. Quick ratio is unaffected, so it doesn't matter. Same exact quick ratio, either LIFO or FIFO, because inventory is excluded. Exactly. I mean, there's no it's not like one is worse than another, or like manipulation, but but life. I mean, it is considered. LIFO is considered a little more manipulation than FIFO. FIFO is more of a, they feel more of a true test of how the company's doing. So all your ratios can be affected, and especially if when prices are rising, we need to adjust the cash flow because the FIFO results in higher. Yeah, and when there's deflation, the exact opposite happens. But if you want to get a little deeper, if a company reports LIFO, they have to also report a LIFO reserve. The LIFO reserve is a number that you use to change it from LIFO to FIFO. Because if you're looking at, I think more companies use FIFO, but if you're looking at 5 companies, say 5 semiconductor companies, and 4 use FIFO, 1 uses LIFO, you should really convert the LIFO to FIFO so they're all equal. And the only way to do that, or the easiest way to do that, is to use a LIFO reserve, which they do report. It's a little deeper than a traditional way of thinking about companies, but it's good to understand these things, especially a heavy. If you're looking at a bank, there's no inventory, so it doesn't matter. But if you're looking at a company, what's a good? I don't know. What Apple comes to mind. Or if you like Nokia, if you're looking at a company that does a ton of manufacturing, it could really change things around a lot. But a company can't jump around like LIFO to FIFO, 1 quarter LIFO, 1 quarter FIFO. They could change it, but they have to explain why they're changing it and possibly even revise old financials. So it's not that easy. Is the price of crude oil down mostly to opening the U.S. reserves, and when will it start going up? I don't know. I just don't. Just my opinion is, and I've had this opinion for a few weeks now. Like that game on. I always talk about this when I explain. What's that game? On The Price is Right, when they flip over a card and they say higher or lower. Like if I flipped over a jack and I said higher or lower, what would you pick? Everybody will pick lower, right? Because there's more chance of you winning by saying lower than higher. So like oil is a jack right now, so you could bet on it going up, but at this point it's pretty high. Oil generally doesn't sit above $100 indefinitely. It comes back down. So it's inflated. I think so, but I don't think it's gonna come down quickly until the war is over. But I'm not. I doubt if it's going to go up to like 150, like people were saying, but we'll see. No, not blackjack. It's just a higher or lower game. I can't remember what it is. And it's different. It's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. Like in the past, we were really reliant on the Middle East. But now that we're with fracking and with I can't remember the word. We're the biggest oil producer in the world, the U.S., and I think we have access to create oil. All this technology, so it's not like it used to be. I mean, why did it get up to 120 in the first place? It was just out of fear. The same reason some stocks go up or down. It's out of fear. It's not. There's no reality. It wasn't like there was an actual shortage of oil at any point. If there was, then of course it would go way up. But it was just the idea. It will be a shortage of oil because of the war, but it's not going to happen. That's just my opinion, of course. I could be wrong. I mean, now that I think about it, I wish I shorted oil when it was 120 because I could have made a lot of money. But but that's what I'm thinking now. If oil gets up there again to like 140, 150, I'm going to short it. Yeah, they say that 200. LIFO seems more intuitive. What do you mean by that? You think it seems more accurate to use LIFO? Ashley, I think Ashley won before. It's her second win. So Ashley, email me. Michael Burry, is he saying we're going to go into recession? Is that what you're talking about? The thing with LIFO, the way I always remember LIFO, when I was taking a CFA, I would always think of uh, Ford Motor Company, and I was like their balance sheet, like the inventory is cars from like the 1900s. So their inventory is like $500. They're still carrying inventory from the 1900s on their balance sheet because LIFO, it just all the old inventory just sits on your balance sheet, and it really lowers your. So that's how I think of LIFO. I think of Ford having, and it, and it's not, just so you know, if a company has 1,000 units and they use LIFO or FIFO, it's not like they're actually, the inventory is old from years ago. It's just accounting. It's just accounting for the inventory. The actual inventory the company uses, they're going to use what they want to use. Whether it's, most companies, especially like a grocery store, uses the oldest inventory because if they use the newest, then they would throw out a ton of stuff. So they use stuff like that's a day old or whatever it is, and they put that on the shelves, and the stuff they freshly bake or make, it, just to always keep it fresh. But if you're looking at a company that works in commodities like coal or gold, it almost doesn't matter because it's all the same. Um, the um, the commodity, it's I don't know. I can't really explain it that well. I remember there was an example on that, but what was that? Oh, BKEP. So did anybody hear about Blue Knight? They got it. I thought that acquisition on Blue Knight was not gonna happen. Let's Blue Knight. Isn't that what's the news at Blue Knight? Weren't they going to get acquired? Blue Knight partners preventing common units from receiving. Am I thinking of the right company? Blue Knight Energy Partners, Ergon offers likely preventing common units from receiving full benefit infrastructure deal. That didn't go through, right? Is that what Ergon? Blue Knight? Sibanye Stillwater? You like the Brazilian Blue Knight ounces fourth quarter and full year? I guess it's just easy to go to the website. Blue Knight. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look it up more. I wish they had there's nothing on the website. It's definitely up from a couple of years ago. It's a really small company, 137 million. Midstream. Well, the revenue came down a lot. Well, the cash flow positive, that's good. What, did anybody know why their revenue came down so much? They must have split off or something. I think just because it's not going to happen. I don't think that I don't think anybody will let it happen. The SEC or Twitter. He's just a showman. He's just wants to. I'm not sure if it's just for attention, but maybe it's partially to just get attention. But I think he's very he's like a good marketer. So just by him saying that, he knows the stock's going to go way up, even if it doesn't happen. Like with Dogecoin. Like he doesn't have to buy it. Like he didn't have to buy Dogecoin. He just he's the ultimate pumper because people listen to him. What a waste, Dogecoin. A lot of people bought it like when it was coming up. Like paid like 30, 40, 50 cents. It was getting up there. It was getting close to $1. It did stay up for a little bit. It came back, I remember, and then now it's come back down. I did a video on BTCS. They're they do Bitcoin mining, but they have what's it called? I can't think of the word. It's a POS. What's POS? Proof of stake. They do staking. Oh boy, yeah, they're big into proof of stake. They have a good they have this software. You could connect all your Bitcoin, all your crypto wallets. Like if you have crypto with Coinbase, Kraken, anywhere, you can view it all on that platform and stake it. And you could stake your Ethereum or you can't stake Bitcoin, but you can stake like Tezos, all these. And they offer a Bitcoin dividend. I think they're the only one. They're definitely the first company to offer the Bitcoin dividend, the dividend. They pay a dividend, Bitcoin dividend. I was thinking of, I keep saying I'm going to buy the stock. And the day I swear, the day before, the day I said I was going to buy it, the next day it went up like 50%. My favorite Bitcoin mining company? It's like an oxymoron. My favorite Bitcoin mining company. I don't really. I sold Wader a few months ago, a couple months ago maybe. I don't really like Bitcoin. I'm kind of not into crypto so much, so I don't know if I could have a favorite. It's like, who's your favorite serial killer? I mean, how could I'm not I'm not against it like I used to be. I'm thinking of actually buying some, but I've always been pretty bearish on crypto. But what this company has, you'll see the video. They're working on the new and improved Web 3.0, which is going to use blockchain technology, and it will be where the metaverse will be, and okay. So here's the example of how it evolved. Because the first email was in the early 70s. Of course, it was only like probably 2 computers that can email, and it took like hours to send that email. And then it took in 20 years to the early 90s till it came to it was commercialized, where everybody had access to it. That's kind of like Bitcoin. It started in 2009, and that's the proof of concept, Bitcoin, and it seems like it is working. It's growing, because the internet, it's hard to explain because I don't really know it that well, but because the web is similar to blockchain, where the web is a decentralized location. Like, anybody can go onto the web and access a website from anywhere in the world. It's all connected together. Every single location is connected, which is kind of like what blockchains are, crypto. It's a decentralized network where everybody can access anything. But our payment systems, like what we use to buy things, to make transactions, that's a centralized system. So we have to pay fees, and there's all this waiting, and it's easy to hack into. So they're trying to decentralize like the current Ponzi schemes also grow as long as more people buy into the scheme. I guess watch the video. It's easy to explain. It'll make more sense when you see the video. It's hard to explain live. This is their balance sheet. They have 90 Bitcoin, 8,000 Ethereum, and the value of their balance sheet is 36 million. Look how much that stock went up the past 12 months, 900%. This slide here, Okay. They're trading at 1 times cash, 1.1 times cash. Like Marathon is trading at 5.7 times cash. Well, cash and crypto. Riot is 9 times cash. CleanSpark, I'm not too familiar with CleanSpark. They're 11.5 times cash. Yeah, I'm not super into crypto, but I do see the value in a blockchain system, how it could really benefit the way we do transactions. It'll be a lot faster and cheaper and more secure. Yeah, SOS, that's another one, right? That's really small, 121 million. That's really been coming down. I think if you want to get involved in crypto, who's my favorite serial killer? Ted Bundy. I don't know. If you want to get into crypto, but you're not too sure what to buy or you're not comfortable, just invest in Coinbase. It's just a way. It's kind of like if you don't want to buy gold, like physical gold, or you don't want to buy a gold mining company, and just invest in something related to gold. Same thing with crypto. If you want to get involved with crypto, invest in Coinbase because these stocks kind of move with crypto, and it's a little more safer because they make money on fees. But of course, if you want more exposure to crypto, then you can go straight to a crypto mining company. Like BTCS. Yeah, or an ETF. These are even better. ETF is you kind of spread your risk across multiple companies. Yeah, they have an ETF for everything. I like to look at what the ETF holds. In this case, it doesn't hold anything. What? That's so it just tracks. Let's see. They just track the price of Bitcoin. Approach is the first U.S. based offers investors opportunity to gain exposure to Bitcoin. The fund capital appreciation primarily through managed exposure to Bitcoin of future contracts. I probably wouldn't buy this. I like to invest in ETFs that actually hold an asset, like stock in another company or gold. There's some decay risk, but I mean, if Bitcoin goes up a lot, I'm sure this will go up too. You think Wader is going to go up? You can buy, yeah, you can buy stuff with crypto. I heard somebody bought a pizza for like $30 million one time. Like 10 years ago, he bought a pizza for $30 million. So that's an option. You could buy pizza. If you live in Venezuela, right? They what's up, gamer? I think that's the currency in Venezuela, right? Crypto. I wish I sold it. I bought it right after I bought it. It went up like 40%. I sold it at 50 cents, I think. So I could buy it back at 30. It's a garbage company. I don't trust the company. What country accepts Bitcoin? Oh, El Salvador. That's it. El Salvador is the first country to accept Bitcoin. If the U.S. accepts Bitcoin, it's going to go through the roof. But I think a company like that is focusing on a blockchain. They went up 10% the other day on Friday. They peaked at, and this is not a SPAC either. This company's been around for a long time. Look at it. In 2021, they were under $1. But they did a reverse stock split and brought them up to above $1. It's not like the stock went up 1,000%. This should really be adjusted for the stock split. I don't know why they didn't adjust it. But you could see, I remember talking to the CEO about it. I go, are you going to do and I said it to him. I said, what the fuck? It doesn't even show it. I said to him, are you going to do a 1-for-10 reverse stock split to uplist to the NASDAQ? He couldn't confirm. He couldn't say that to me because that would be like inside information. But that's what they did. He just said, "Oh, that's a good guess." BTCS. They did a 1-for-10 in August. But so Yahoo Finance, it's not really accurate because it appears the stock went from 60 cents up to like $6 in one day, which so it appears it went up 1,000%, which it didn't. It just did a reverse stock split. These charts should be adjusted for the stock split so it looks smooth. But anyway, so ignore anything before this date. So they did the reverse stock split to bring it up to $6 so they can uplist to the NASDAQ. And then it did come up to like about 8, right? Over 8. But it's down since that point, 636, and now it's down to 4. It went down to 3 at the low point. That seems to be a resistance point, right? $3. It could be trading sideways for the next few years, but I I don't think you predict. I don't think you can predict commodity prices. I mean, you could probably guess. You could probably predict it if you every day. If you predict the commodity prices, you'll be right once a month. Um, but it's kind of like with the oil thing. When oil got real high, I every week I say it's not gonna. It's probably gonna come down. But so that's my prediction. But it's just a guess based off of historically oil prices tend to not stay above 100 for that long. But I don't think you could predict commodity prices a few years out unless you get lucky. Um, yeah, I don't think it's possible. I think maybe if you, with a company, if you have inside information, you can predict the stock price. But with a commodity, even with all the information in the world, it would probably be hard to predict the price. Yeah, those are 1 out of 30. I'm saying there's a chance. But yeah, I'll try to do another video on Blue Knight. Do you have any thoughts on Black Quarry, formerly traded as getting a BTC mining deal? What does that mean, a BTC mining deal? You can't really mine Bitcoin. It's pretty much done. I mean, they I think there may be a little Bitcoin left, but it's not 99.9% of it has been already mined. And it costs, in the beginning of Bitcoin, you could have mined from a computer. If you had a decent computer, you could have mined from it. But now, within the past year or two, you need like 1,000 high power computers to mine a Bitcoin. Like, it's just the amount of energy you need to mine Bitcoin these days. Okay, so okay, I thought more was mined. So there's a little under 10% left, if this is accurate. But still, I still stand by what I said is you have to spend so much money to mine Bitcoin these days. And in order to just pay the electricity bills, you need that Bitcoin just to pay your bills, because it's so expensive. When is Bitcoin done? I was going to say 2024. The next Bitcoin event is expected to take place early months 2024. Halving should continue until $1 a mine at 21 million supplies capped attained. 2140. Wow. I thought Bitcoin mining was about finding a new prime number. I think that sounds right. The prime number thing. But you need these really high power computers in order to do the algorithms. There's really no way to. That's why, if you don't understand something, just avoid it. It's you'll probably do a lot better because it's so complex. Not mine just one. Instead, crypto miners will mine one block with the reward at 6 Bitcoin. Each Bitcoin takes 10 minutes to mine. That means that in theory, it takes 10 minutes to mine 1 Bitcoin as part of how much money does Bitcoin charge to buy? Yeah, I'm not that comfortable with crypto either. I'm learning as I go. I thought that we were in crypto winter. Who knows? Crypto mining. Yeah, I remember seeing Schedule C. No, I remember seeing that we're getting. There's still stuff to be mined, but we're getting so deep into it. It's okay. So every few years it halves. So now we're down to 6.25. So yeah, I guess in 2009 you get 50 Bitcoins per, what's the word, per block. So if it cost you $1,000 to mine 50 Bitcoins, well, in 2009 it was, but you get less and less per block. So it just makes it to the point where the only way you can mine Bitcoin, it seems, you have to create like these companies that are popping up that get funded with millions of dollars so they can mine Bitcoin. The next one's even less, 3.125. The 2024 projected. So I guess this is good information. If you're thinking Bitcoin will go up or Bitcoin mining companies will go up, maybe buy some in 2023 in anticipation of the next mining cycle. I don't know. I kind of understand the encryption, but don't see how it's a real investment. It's not a real investment. It's just a made up. Somebody made it up. Somebody said there's value in this particular coin, and other people agree. So there is value. Just like the US dollar, people feel there's value in it, and enough people have agreed over time. It didn't work like that in Venezuela. For a while, there was value in a currency. Then people just it lost value. People lost trust in the government, and now it's not worth anything. It's just a digital currency. Well, yeah, it's definitely speculation, and most people agree. There's 10,000 cryptocurrencies out there. Maybe 7,000. I think I saw once. Only maybe like 5 or 6 will be 18,000. Yeah, only maybe maybe a dozen or so will be worth anything in 10 years, if that much. But it's just, but okay, it's past 7. Let me work on tomorrow's video. So thanks for joining. Email me if you want the raffle, and I'll see you next Saturday. Okay. Have a good night.